Welcome back to Afternoon Live. College graduation is a huge milestone, but students are often left wondering, now what? Here with advice on taking that next step, we welcome inspirational speaker and business consultant, John Register. It's so nice to see you.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having me on.
This is a big moment in life. I kind of remember feeling like, oh no, I'm a real adult now.
Right.
What am I supposed to do?
I think we all think that what's going to happen with this major transition that comes up. And I think the first thing we have to do is take a pause, take a breath, and really celebrate what has happened.
That's true.
You know, there's a 4 years, 5 years, or 2 years from a community college, or whatever it might be, that you have made it thus far, because that's what it's really all about.
Yeah.
It's making it, and so we have made it. These youth have made it this far, and so just take a breath, pause, and celebrate.
I love that. It is worth celebrating. It's a lot of work to cross that finish line, whatever it looks like. What about then looking internally and thinking about your identity before you start thinking about the career aspect next?
I really think that people don't take that reflective time to say, what is it that I want out of life? So when I'm coaching clients, most people have gone all the way through life and they haven't taken time to assess what it is they really wanted.
Okay.
So they began going from job to job, and they get to the end and they're like, does my life even have meaning?
Sure.
So really take that time to reflect on what is it that you want. Ask the hard question, what is it that I need out of life? And then begin to be working on those things so that you are fulfilled the entire way of your work adult life.
What about setting goals or checkpoints or looking way ahead in the future? I've heard you talk about like a 30-year idea of where you want to be. That sounds kind of overwhelming, but it might help you kind of set yourself up in the right direction.
So in that moment, where this comes from is a lot of us get asked the question, what would you tell your younger self?
Yeah.
What changes would you make? Well, you can't really ask that question. Even though it's being asked, you can't do anything about the information because you didn't have the experiences that got you to that point.
Right.
So a better question is, look 20 years, 30 years out, desiring whatever it is that you want to have in life and where do you want to be and where do you want to be in society, and then bring that back to today and make the roadmap.
Yeah.
And it's not that the road's going to be, straight and easy.
Of course.
It's going to have hills, valleys, crooks all over the place. But at least you have a destination. It's like the horizon. When the sky hits the water, you're going in that direction, and though you might not hit it, you at least know the direction of travel.
Okay. What about you've finished up this degree and maybe you're thinking, well, where I am now isn't where I was thinking I would be 4 years ago. Maybe this doesn't align with the goals I have in mind next. How do you pivot at that point? Because that can feel scary for a lot of people experience that.
That is a very scary time. It can feel that way, but I would flip it and say, I'm glad I'm finding this out now.
Sure.
Than having a whole career and just be, oh my gosh, I've been the wrong thing for 15, 20 years. So really do that hard work. And if it's not the thing that you want to be in, that's okay. Yeah. It's fine. It's just a learning experience. You've learned now in these 4 years that that's not what you want to do. So take that as a lesson and a learning that you can now springboard to something else that really lights you up.
The stakes do feel so high when you're so young, right? 18, 22, that time frame, these big life decisions. But looking back, you go, oh, I had so much time. I was going to make so many more mistakes. It is hard, though, to kind of take that grace for your younger self.
It is. And I think that's our, we get into what I call the renewal.
Yeah.
And it begins with a rebirth. And so a chapter has now closed. And so there's no going back, unless you're going to go to a graduate school or go through, go get a PhD. But there's no going back to where you used to be. So now your back's against the wall, so to speak, and you have to take the steps forward. So you just said it, Hannah, giving ourselves space and grace to grow in that time because we're no longer the expert. Going into, my granddaughter just went into the military, right? And so that's a big step for her. And there's no going back now. She is in. She is in the Army, serving our country. So those are the things that we have to, I believe, really focus in on and hone in on, is that these are times to make those shifts, to make those pivots. And most of I always laugh, that some of the jobs I wanted to have when I was coming through don't even exist today.
That's so true.
So just keep yourself always on a swivel. My coach, Remy Korchimney, used to say, everything is training. And so everything is transformation. Everything is transition to the next. So always keep your eyes open on what it is that you want to do and learn that all along the way in your career. Things will always change.
Well, something new that recent graduates are thinking about is AI in the workforce. Does that replace my skill set? How do they compete with that or set themselves apart?
I really believe AI is a great tool for us, and I liken it to in business when I coaching business folks that are a little bit resistant to AI, is if you're doing business by the stamp and letter, you're probably not in business right now, right? Because we do email or we have Google. AI is to Google as the letter is to email.
That makes sense.
And so it's just another tool that was pushing us forward. So here's what I offer is learn as much as you can about it, because what I found as a professional speaker, it helps me to really get ideas and then understand how to put those ideas into a great package. But it doesn't speak for me. Even though I can make my likeness speak, it doesn't have the ability to shift and move like in a conversation we're having right now. Not in that real time. It might get there, but it's not having the conversation that we can have.
That's great perspective, taking some of the fear out of it and then facing it head on. Always great to chat with you.
Always great to chat with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you again soon. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.